and one more thing, not to cause controversy, but Sheckler and Nyjah were recently on the podcast, and they answered a question that I had for them, which was kids skating a spot, not knowing what had been done there before, not knowing the history and the legacy of certain spots because street skating is so iconic. And then at the same time, how important street skating still is, even as a competitor. And I know this is a unique topic and people who don't understand skating may not understand the legitimacies of what it takes to be a street skater and to make parts and to put out content that people can appreciate and love. It got a lot of craziness. It went viral, has like 10 million views on the JAXXON podcast, has 50,000 comments. And Nyjah and Sheckler are just agreeing on the fact that like street skating is still the most important.
Yeah, of course.
So can you break it down for me? How important is it? Is it never been done tricks?
Well, because skateboarding is not, well, it's a big even argument in skateboarding to even call it a sport. So a lot of guys don't even like it being referred to as a sport. It's not built for competition. It's more, I could say you could compare it more to music than you can to any other sport. So it's like saying, who's better, Jimi Hendrix or Bob Marley? I don't know. They're both freaking great, and it depends who you ask. And some people might just be like, why do I got to pick? I love them both. They're both awesome. Do I have to pick? You know, it's like that type of thing. So like, it's not built to be judged and like scored and like this guy, because that it's an art. It's like, it's about, you know, I resonate with this guy because I like his style, I like the way he skates. I just like the way this guy pushes. He might not even have to do a trick. He might just push really well. And, you know, the way he did that trick. And then also in street skateboarding, they're doing tricks in street skateboarding that are like pushing the boundaries and levels that have never been done. In competition, they're just doing the hardest thing they can do this try right now, do or die. So it's like, it's the level you can't do as crazy stuff as you're going to do in the streets because we have editors, we have cameras. We can go all day long and try it for 5 hours until you get it, or you can keep coming back until you get that thing that no one's ever done before at this spot that no one's ever skated before. And then in a contest, you know, like it has to be, it's just naturally going to be not quite as advanced because it's like, I have one try. I have to do it right here. I don't have time to be that risky, you know?
And do you think
yeah, go ahead.
Switch should be judged as well? Like, I mean, like that's for me. It's like, I always appreciate like the craziest, baddest motherfucking thing to do, you know, in skateboarding, where it's like, I think Switch became such a tactical play in skateboarding where it's like, Switch, it's not going to be as cool, but I did it Switch. So I should get more points for it. You know, it's like, I don't know.
I think in my era when I was coming up, that's what I gravitated towards is like, well, shoot, I'm not going to be able to flip in and do this wild thing that this guy just did over here. Like if we're talking competition skating.
For competition.
Yeah, then I was like, all right, well, but I know none of these guys are going to be doing it Switch, so I'm going to do it that way. And that felt good to me. But and in that era, it was given its like judgment of like, okay, that was Switch is not often seen. But now I think skating Switch is very common. So it's like got to be a combination of both. You have to do something Switch, but it's also got to be like have a couple extra flips or spins or whatever it is. But it still gets judged higher if you're doing like, oh, that guy did that trick, which was amazing, but this guy did it Switch. It still will get judged higher for sure.
It's crazy too, because the whole dynamic of skating, like the way you talk about it, like that is where we're at now. Like I watched X Games this weekend and I'm pretty knowledgeable with tricks. I understand most skaters and it's like 2 flips in, 1 flip out, a trick on the rail. I'm like, dude, that's a 4-trick combo. In and out. I'm like, I don't even know what to call that. I wouldn't even be able to announce X Games.
Yeah, I don't think I would be able to either, so don't feel too bad.
All right, cool. Because I was watching, I was like, damn, dude, I run a podcast and I talk to skaters all day long and I pride myself on knowing skate pretty good.
Yeah.
That I don't know how to announce that.
And then sometimes also in skateboarding, it's not about the hardest, fanciest thing. It's just about like, dang, that guy did it with like authority. He did it with real control, board control. Like he made it look easy and it was very hard. This guy did a hard trick, but it looked hard and it looked like he struggled and it was like jittery and, you know, like it
Perfect
just,
point.
It just depends, you know, it depends on the person. That's why I compare 'em like closer to music than than anything else, because it's like it's all what your style, just whatever you're gravitated towards. You know, it's
there's certain guys that just did it so differently too, like Rodney Mullen. He's just like fuck.
Well, he's
like,
just the
what?
inventor.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like it was so different. No one was doing anything like it, and he's the inventor.
Yeah, he's literally Thomas Edison of skateboarding.
Why do you feel that?
Because he literally invented everything.
No, I know.
Hey,
Hey,
he took skateboarding to a different dimension.
Yeah, I want to know. I want to hear it for the people.
Well, it didn't
the people
exist.
watching
Like,
this.
he
Explain it to them.
literally-
Yeah. Why do you feel that way?
I could never skate like that.
I
Like, it
mean,
was like, the hell?
probably 90% of the things I do now are a combination of tricks he invented. So literally, he invented modern day street skateboarding.